friends, my name is Mal and I am the owner and maker of Made by Manny and Mal. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here and that you found our channel. So in today's video, we're going to be making a Christmas mug, but we're doing a large mug. And I went for a very traditional, just kind of classic Christmas vibe on this one. I wanted it to really be reminiscent of those just classic Christmas feelings. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you are inspired by the design, and yeah, I really hope that you like it. Everything I'm using in this tutorial is linked down below in the description box, as well as links to all of our social media, our Facebook group, Patreon group, and of course, I've got some discount codes for you down there as well. Okay, I hope you like the video. Let's go. We're going to be using a 30-ounce camper mug for this design, and we're going to start by wrapping the bottom half of our cup with this gorgeous red plaid pattern. This is so festive for Christmas. I love it. I think I got this vinyl at Donkey Craft Vinyl. I don't remember, but I think they sell it. Anyway, so what I'm doing is taping off the bottom half of my cup, and I want the vinyl to kind of come up onto that handle just to make it look kind of professional and finished. If you don't want to deal with wrapping around the handle, you can definitely just do your vinyl wrap right underneath the handle and just make that the bottom portion of your cup. But I wanted it to come up a little bit higher. So what I'm doing next is trimming up my vinyl. I'm going to trim off all of the white borders and then just cut my piece of vinyl down so that it will fit on my cup, and I'll set the excess aside for something else. So I'm just going to test my piece of vinyl, make sure that I cut it to size, make sure I'm going to have enough, and then I'm going to start to apply it to my cup. So first I'm going to do the trick I've been doing since I figured it out. I'm going to hold my ruler up against my cup, both flat on my table, and draw a straight line down the cup so I can align my vinyl with that straight line to ensure that my vinyl is applied actually straight, because no matter how straight it looks when I just eyeball it, it's always just a little bit off. So this trick has really helped me get things actually straight. So I'm going to cut off a little piece of that vinyl backing and then secure it onto my cup. I'm going to test it, wrap it around just to make sure that I did get it straight. And now I'm going to start to smooth the vinyl onto my cup. So I'm holding the cup steady with my left hand, and my right hand is doing all the work. I'm just using my thumb to kind of smooth this on to the cup, going back and forth, pushing the backing away from the vinyl in the process. So you want to keep the vinyl backing on as long as possible. I do cut off any excess backing that I've taken off just so it doesn't get in my way, and then I'll just continue around the cup. So once I hit the handle, I'm going to remove the rest of the backing and then cut a slit right where the handle is going to hit that vinyl so that I can start to work the vinyl around the handle. So now what I'm going to do is take that top little piece that I cut and kind of just maneuver it around the top of the handle. I highly recommend having your seam meet up where your handle is, because the handle really helps kind of disguise this seam. You don't notice it as much because you've got the handle to look at. I don't know, it just makes sense in my head. So I pulled that around, I cut off the excess right around the handle, just that very tiny little bit of vinyl, and then I'm going to cut off the excess from the side too, so the pattern is a little bit more flush. This did not meet up perfectly with a seamless pattern, but it met up pretty well. You can barely tell that there's a seam there. So I was pretty happy with that result. So now I'm going to smooth down the rest of that end, and then I'm finding where the vinyl overlaps, and I'm going to trim right past that. So we do have a tiny little line of overlap, but I would rather have that than have a line of stainless steel where I cut off too much. So here's our vinyl all trimmed up, and now I'm going to finish the bottom how I normally do. I'm pulling the vinyl up over that bottom edge and smoothing it down and then cutting off any excess. And then to finish off the top of the vinyl, I'm using that tape line that we placed down at the very beginning to help me just trim off this excess and make a straight line. And then I'm going to remove my tape, which will also remove that excess vinyl that we cut off. So here's what we've got so far. And now I'm going to go in with another piece of tape and just tape off the vinyl portion, that bottom vinyl portion, so that we can paint the top half of our cup. So I'm just trimming around the handle because I don't want obviously to paint over my pattern. So I'm just making sure that I wrap this up really, really well. I used some smaller pieces of tape and just kind of worked it in so that our top vinyl seam, that line of vinyl, was fully covered because we're going to do the handle and the top half of our cup. So I wrapped this bottom portion in saran wrap to protect the rest of that plaid vinyl and not waste any tape. And we're going to go in with flat white from Rustoleum and just do a really good coat on the top of this cup. So here's what we've got. I'm going to let this sit and dry for about an hour to an hour and a half. And then I'm going to go right in with my Crystalac glitter glue, of course. You can also use the epoxy method, Mod Podge, whatever adhesive you like the best. So I'm just brushing on a thin layer of this, and I'm going to go in with Oracle from PDB. It's the perfect winter, like pretty festive white. It's got a little bit of a silver fleck in it as well. And I'm just going to coat the entire surface of the cup with this. If you'll notice, I did the body of the cup first, and then I went back in and I did the handle by itself. You don't have to do that. You can totally do it all at once. I just broke it up for some reason. I don't know. Just be careful when you glitter the handle. You'll see here that I'm going to glitter the entire thing, and then I'm going to go back in with my finger and kind of smooth out and remove some of that glitter from those side portions of the handle, because Oracle is a chunky glitter. So if you don't kind of pat it down or remove it or smooth it out, it can get really pointy and really uncomfortable to hold on your cup after epoxy. You have to do a lot of sanding, and it's just a lot of work that isn't really necessary. So if you are using a finer cut of glitter, you can probably skip this step. It'll probably lay down just fine. But if you're using a chunkier cut like I am, you might want to go through and just smooth it out. So see, that's what it looks like. It still looks really clean and finished and pretty good in my opinion. So I'm gonna now remove my saran wrap and all of my painter's tape and then let this sit and dry for 2 hours. Once the glitter glue was all dry, I went in with my finger first and I just kind of smoothed out any of the glitter that might be hanging up over that top rim. And now I'm going to seal it with my glitter glue. If you prefer to use a spray sealer like a clear gloss spray paint or anything like that, you can absolutely do it that way as well. Whatever you prefer is totally fine. So once I'm done sealing this, I'm going to let this sit and dry at least 2 hours, and then I'm going to go in with my first coat of epoxy. So even though we sealed the top glitter portion, I'm still going to focus my epoxy first down on that plaid portion. So we get that coated before we even touch any glitter. This is really well sealed, so you shouldn't have to worry about it, but better safe than sorry, like I always say. Once this first coat cured, I did go in and do a second coat of about 15 milliliters. And once that one was all cured, I sanded down my top rim to expose that thin line of stainless steel. And now I'm ready to go in and do all of this fun decal work. I'm going to be using these sheets of like sticker cal vinyl from Banff Custom Creations. They are semi-transparent, which means that the images are printed with white ink, so they're going to show up really well on our background, but you're not going to be able to see any of that clear space between the vinyl. So I'm starting out now with a little bit of striping in between our vinyl and our glitter. I'm using this champagne gold textured vinyl from Tech Wrap Craft, and I just cut it out on my silhouette. And now I'm going to start adding these floral elements. So I've got some holly leaves, some holly berries. Are they called holly leaves? I don't know. And some poinsettias. And I'm just going to cut out each individual kind of image and just put them down like a sticker. So I'm just going to arrange them all over this top portion of the cup. And once we get epoxy on it, you're not going to see any of the clear border around. So you don't have to be super precise when you're cutting. I would just be careful if you're going to be like layering on top of each other. You can kind of see a little bit of the border if you put an image right on top of it, but otherwise it should be totally fine. You really can't see the edges. If you don't want to use these sheets or if you don't have them, you can use clear water slide, you can use printable vinyl, clear printable vinyl, whatever you have, you can print these images out and then put them down like this. I just got these sheets in my subscription box and I wanted to use them. So I'm just placing these randomly, cutting them out individually. It's a whole lot easier to do it this way versus trying to like do a full wrap as if this were a full sheet of like pattern vinyl. It's easier to cut them out and just place them one by one because then you can really arrange them how you want. And like I did, you can mix together 2 sheets and kind of make your own pattern. So once I was done with this, I went right into another coat of epoxy. I also finished the bottom of the cup with just a circle of that same red plaid that we used for the bottom wrap. I cut that at 3 inches in diameter. And once our final coats of epoxy were all cured, this is what the cup looks like. So we are all done with this tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed it. This totally gives me just like classic, old school, traditional Christmas vibes. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite designs from this year already, and I've only made a few. So I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. I can't wait to see what you come up with using this technique. If you recreate this design, please be sure to tag me in your photos. And thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed to our channel so you don't miss any new videos. We upload every single Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Okay, I'll see you guys in my next one. Love you. Bye. What? I really just want you to like it. Please like it. Okay, I'm doing that one again. We're going to be making a Christmas mug. It's a big mug for a lot of drinks. What am I talking about? It's a big mug for a lot of drinks. Bear with me. Can't cancel that again.